Hello everyone. So today we are going to start the science video. So here is the animated video for you. So please kindly watch it. If you like, please subscribe it and share with your friends and like this video.
Combustion and flame. In the previous chapter, we have studied about fuels such as coal, petrol, diesel, kerosene, natural gas and LPG. We get heat, often accompanied by light on burning a fuel. We use different kinds of fuels for various purposes at homes, in industries and for running automobiles. We use coal, kerosene and LPG as fuels in our homes. Coal, coke, CNG etc. are used in industries. Petrol, diesel and CNG are used for running automobiles. Burning and combustion. In class 7, we had performed an activity in which the magnesium ribbon was heated over a Bunsen burner. It was burnt to form magnesium oxide and produced heat and light. We can perform a similar activity with a piece of charcoal. When we hold a piece of charcoal with a pair of tongs and bring it near the flame of a Bunsen burner, we find that charcoal burns in air, producing heat and light. What is the similarity between the two activities? When a substance burns, heat is released and sometimes light is also produced. A chemical process in which a substance burns in oxygen of air to give off heat and light, which may or may not be produced, is called combustion. Burning of magnesium and charcoal are examples of combustion, since both give heat and light on burning. Thus, magnesium and charcoal are combustible in nature. It is not essential that light must be produced in combustion. Combustible and non-combustible substances. We can categorize all the substances into combustible and non-combustible substances. Substances that burn easily in air or oxygen to produce heat and light are called combustible substances. The substances that do not burn in air or oxygen are called non-combustible substances. Materials like petrol, LPG, cooking gas, wax, cloths, coal, charcoal, natural gas, kerosene, diesel, wood, etc. are also combustible substances. Types of combustion. Depending upon the conditions under which combustion takes place, there are 3 types of combustion: rapid combustion, spontaneous combustion, and explosion. Let us study these 3 types of combustion in detail. Rapid combustion. When a combustible substance burns at a rapid rate, producing a very large amount of heat and light in a short period of time, it is called rapid combustion. For example, cooking gas LPG starts burning immediately. When a burning matchstick is brought near it, it produces heat and light. Burning a wax candle is also an example of rapid combustion. Spontaneous combustion. When a combustible substance burns on its own without the help of any external heat, it is called spontaneous combustion. Burning of white phosphorus, fire in coal mines, and forest fires are examples of spontaneous combustion. Explosive combustion. Combustion reaction that occurs suddenly with the evolution of a large amount of gases, heat, light, and sound is known as explosive combustion or explosion. For example, when we light firecrackers, explosion occurs with the evolution of heat, light, and sound. Conditions necessary for combustion. 3 conditions which are necessary for combustion are as follows: the presence of a combustible substance, the presence of a supporter of combustion, attainment of ignition temperature of the combustible substance. Combustible substances. The presence of combustible substances like paper, cloth, wood, LPG and petrol are necessary for combustion to take place. The process of combustion cannot occur without a combustible substance. Supporter of combustion. Combustion is a chemical reaction between a combustible substance and oxygen air to produce heat. A combustible substance does not burn in the absence of oxygen. Shops and factories can be very disastrous. Minimum temperature. The lowest temperature to which a substance must be heated to catch fire and start burning is called its ignition temperature. Different substances have different ignition temperatures. Activity 2. To show that oxygen air is necessary for combustion of a substance. Things needed: a candle, a matchbox, a glass container, a plate. Method: we light a candle on a plate and cover the burning candle with a glass container. See figure. We will see that the candle stops burning after some time. In fact, the candle burns only as long as the oxygen of the air is present in the inverted glass container. The supply of fresh air to the burning candle is cut off by the inverted glass container when all the oxygen of the air is used up in burning. The candle stops burning or gets extinguished. Conclusion: air is necessary for combustion to take place. Firefighting. Fire at homes, shops and factories can be very disastrous and often cause loss of life and property. So, the fire should be brought under control and extinguished as soon as possible. Firefighting means to control and extinguish the unwanted fire. Fire can be controlled by removing one or more of the conditions required for combustion to take place. Since it is not possible to remove all the combustible substances from the place of fire. For example, if a building catches fire, the whole building cannot be shifted. So, the firefighting operations work mainly on two principles: bringing down the temperature of the burning substances below their ignition temperature, cutting off the air supply to the burning substances. Different types of fire extinguishers are used for different types of fires. Let us learn about them. Water as a fire extinguisher. If a fire breaks out in our house or in our neighborhood, the first thing we must do is call the fire service by dialing 101. When the fire brigade arrives, the firemen extinguish the fire by throwing water under pressure on the fire. When water is thrown on the fire, it cools the combustible substance below its ignition temperature, and this prevents the fire from spreading. The water, when heated by fire, forms water vapor, which also surrounds the combustible materials, helping in cutting off the supply of air. So the fire is extinguished. Thus, water is very effective in firefighting operations. However, water as an extinguisher has some limitations, which are as follows. Water cannot be used to extinguish fires in electric wiring caused by an electric short circuit. This is because water is a conductor of electricity. When it is poured over burning electrical wires or appliances, it causes electric shocks to the people involved in the firefighting operations. This electric shock can even kill the people. Water cannot be used to put off fires caused by burning of oil or petrol because water, being heavier than oil, settles down at the bottom. The oil floats over this water and continues to burn. Carbon dioxide as a fire extinguisher. Carbon dioxide is the best fire extinguisher for all fires involving electrical equipment and inflammable materials like petrol and kerosene. Carbon dioxide, being heavier than oxygen, surrounds the burning combustible substances like a blanket. This cuts off the contact between the burning combustible substance and oxygen supply and brings down the temperature of the fuel. Hence, the fire gets extinguished. The added advantage of carbon dioxide is that, in most cases, it does not harm the electrical equipment. We get the supply of carbon dioxide to extinguish fires from the fire extinguishers. We often see such fire extinguishers in our schools, offices, godowns, hospitals, etc. Foam type fire extinguisher. The foam type fire extinguisher consists of a metallic cylinder having a knob and nozzle tube. The metallic cylinder is filled with a saturated solution of sodium bicarbonate. A glass bottle containing aluminium sulfate is kept inside the metallic cylinder. When we strike the knob of the extinguisher against a hot surface, the glass bottle breaks and aluminum sulfate comes in contact with the sodium bicarbonate and reacts with it to produce carbon dioxide. A substance called saponin is added to the sodium bicarbonate solution to produce the foam of carbon dioxide. The foam of carbon dioxide comes out through the nozzle, which is directed towards the fire. This fire extinguisher can be safely used to extinguish fires caused by electrical appliances and inflammable substances like petrol and kerosene. Taking care of fire victims. We should immediately bring out the fire victim from the fireplace to an open space to prevent the fire victim breathe harmful gases like carbon dioxide or smoke, which can lead to suffocation and breathlessness. When the clothes of a person catch fire, the person should be covered with a blanket to cut off the supply of air. Hence, the fire gets extinguished. Flame. A flame is a region where combustion or burning of a fuel in its gaseous form takes place. Observe the flame of LPG coming out from the cooking gas stove. It is blue in color. The color of candle flame is yellow. All the gases like LPG, which undergo combustion or burning, produce a flame. When we light a candle with a matchstick, the heat of the matchstick not only melts the wax, but also changes wax into its paper. The wax paper reacts with oxygen or air and then catches fire to produce a flame. Solid fuels like wax and camphor, which vaporize or form vapor on heating, burn with a flame. On the other hand, coal and charcoal are solid fuels, which do not vaporize on heating, so they burn without producing a flame. Liquid fuels like kerosene oil and mustard oil, which vaporize or form gases on heating, burn with a flame. Zones of a candle flame. A candle is a column of wax provided with a wick, cotton thread at the center. A candle is made up of paraffin wax, which consists of a higher percentage of carbon. Paraffin wax vaporizes and burns on heating. A candle flame consists of 3 main zones depending on the amount of air it receives. These zones have different colors and temperatures. Let us discuss in detail the 3 main zones of a candle flame. The innermost zone. This zone lacks oxygen of air and hence, in this zone, least or no combustion takes place. So it appears black. It contains unburnt wax vapor. So we can also say that the innermost zone is the least hot region of the flame. The middle zone. In this zone, there is not enough air for complete burning of the wax vapor. The partial or incomplete burning of the wax vapor produces carbon particles and carbon monoxide. The unburnt carbon particles become hot and emit yellow light. So, it is the glow of hot carbon particles which makes the middle zone of a flame luminous or light-giving. These carbon particles then leave the flame as smoke or soot. The middle zone of a flame is moderately hot. This zone is the major part of the candle flame. The outermost zone is. In this zone, there is a plenty of air around it. So, complete combustion of wax vapor takes place, producing carbon dioxide and water vapor. It has the highest temperature in the flame. In other words, it is the hottest zone of the flame. And non-luminous. At the base of the wick, there is oxygen-rich region where carbon monoxide burns with a blue color. This region of flame is known as blue zone. Goldsmiths blow the outermost zone of a flame with a metallic blue pipe for melting the pieces of gold and silver into desired shapes to make jewelry. When air is blown through the blowpipe into the flame, it helps in the rapid combustion of unburnt fuel and hence makes the flame hotter, sufficient to melt gold and silver. Fuels. The materials which are burnt to produce a large amount of heat energy are known as fuels. Wood, coal, LPG, kerosene, diesel, petrol. Classification of fuels. So, fuels are classified as solid fuels, liquid fuels, and gaseous fuels. Solid fuels: coal, coke, charcoal, wood. Paraffin wax are solid fuels. Liquid fuels: kerosene, petrol, diesel are liquid fuels. Gaseous fuels, natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, biogas, compressed natural gas, CNG, are gaseous fuels. Characteristics of an ideal fuel. It should be fairly cheap and easily available. It should be easy to handle, safe to transport, and convenient to store. It should burn smoothly. It should have a high calorific value. It should not produce any harmful and irritating fumes during burning. It should not leave ash, residue, after burning. It should have a proper ignition temperature. It should not be too low, like room temperature, or too high,